14 years ago today, Hurricane Katrina came ashore and changed New Orleans forever. More than a decade later, we may be better protected against a storm, but we also learned important lessons about the importance of helping people evacuate when a major storm threatens. If one comes our way now, Evacuteers plays a vital role. Bonnie Canal is the interim executive director of the program and joins us with how volunteers can make a big difference in a crisis. I know we think about those images from Hurricane Katrina and there's people stranded on the interstate, people stranded at the Superdome. You've created a program where hopefully that won't ever happen again.
Yeah, and that's really why the program was started. We're funded through the city of New Orleans, and what we really want to say is no one will be left behind. I mean, that's the most important thing is when the mayor calls for mandatory evacuation, we want to make sure that people have a way out, and that's part of what our organization does is by the use of volunteers to really kind of utilize what we call the power of us to help all of us get out of the city of New Orleans.
Absolutely, and there's no way you haven't seen the Evacuteer statues that are all around the city. Some people may see them and still wonder, hey, what is that?
Yeah, where did that come from? I've seen that 1,000 times. We actually have 17 statues around the city of New Orleans. Those are what we call evacu spots. And the evacu spots are where people are to go when the city calls for that mandatory evacuation. The RTA will be sending buses out there. We'll have volunteers out there to help people get loaded onto a bus and take them to the Smoothie King Center, and then from there get them out.
Right, okay. So there's also some help for those people who may not have the easiest time getting to those evacuation spots.
Yeah, and always thinking about this is that you have what we call special needs and senior citizens. And what we want people to do is to call 311 and register with the city of New Orleans so the city can understand where their special needs are, the type of resources we're going to need. But if you have the wherewithal to get to one of our 4 senior centers, we encourage you to do that as well. But again, if you register with 311, we can really help understand where these people are and how we can help get them out.
On the anniversary of Katrina today, what a great opportunity to think about the people around you, those senior citizens who may live down the street from you, who may not see this, may not know, a good time to get them involved in this so that the city can know where these people may be.
Yeah, and that's really one of the things that we've been talking a lot about over these last couple of months is kind of a neighboring program. Is do you really know your neighbor? Do you know what your neighbor needs? Do you understand who your neighbor is? And part of this is, as we talk about what happened with Katrina, it really is important to understand at least the neighbors, at 8 houses around you, draw a box around you and understand where they are and really kind of share with them what your choices are, and then helping them make their own choices, what they're going to do in case of a major disaster.
So I know there's a lot of people there in New Orleans, here in New Orleans, who have the wherewithal to leave on their own, but they may want to help in a situation, always looking for volunteers.
Always need volunteers. I mean, what we're looking for is our hands. I mean, that's really what it is that we have a plethora of opportunities for people to volunteer, but we use our volunteers to help us at our evacu spots. Their roles is to really kind of greet the people that are evacuating, try to help them process this information. As we talk a lot about, it's very scary to say, I'm going to get on a bus, I'm going to leave my home. I don't know when I'm going to come back. I don't know what I'm leaving. I don't know what I'm going to come back to. And that's really our role, is kind of help that process along, as well as getting them out of the city of New Orleans. And we also have opportunities at the Smoothie King Center to kind of manage that situation as well. And then 311 operators as well.
So if those folks want to volunteer, they should go to
Evacuteer.org, right? And we're more than ready to have them sign up with us.
Today is a great day to think about that and think about your neighbors. Thank you so much, Bonnie. We appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, students who want an education alternative will soon be able to interview for the National Guard's Youth Challenge. We'll tell you how it works, still to come.
And we're in the Fox 8 kitchen where Kingfish is cooking up something special for